What is up everyone, Terry here with another League of Legends guide. Today we'll be talking about Phoenix Udyr. So, Udyr has been my favorite champion for, well, since I started playing League to be honest. So that's 3 years. He's gone through a lot of changes in that time. From the, innovating Lockets to the fast clearing jungler in Season 2 to Udyr in Season 3. And he has been changed again 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, I'm not sure. Yeah, he's in a better spot right now, I feel. He still needs some tweaking to be completely viable, but he's definitely stronger now. And fits a bit better into the game. Characters like Ashe, Anivia, or Ezreal still cause problems for him because they can kite him and jump away. But his skill set now definitely makes ganking easier and jungling faster. So let's start with his skill set. His passive is Monkey's Agility. Whenever you use an ability, you will gain 1 stack. This increases your movement speed for a short time and your attack speed, and caps at 3 stacks. In the jungle, try to keep your stacks maxed out when moving short distances between camps, so you can get the fastest clear possible. Also remember that you will now get the increased movement speed whenever you use one of your abilities, not only when using burst ends. So try to stand stance when chasing or escaping enemies and just generally running around and trying to be fast. I'll explain what I mean by stance dancing later on. His Q is Tiger Stance. This won't be of too much use for this guide because we will be focusing on Phoenix, but it's upon usage your next auto attack will be enhanced with damage over time, and currently it's magic damage, but next patch it will get a lot stronger. It will have the effect that you will have faster attack speed, and it will scale with attack damage, and it will deal attack damage. So I feel like this will be the new top lane Udyr build with Tiger, but we'll see how this turns out. At the moment it seems pretty cool, but for this guide we won't be focusing on it. Turtle Stance is his W. It's an amazing skill. You get a shield for a short time, which scales with ability power, and you will also heal 18%, I'm pretty sure it's 18% of the damage with every auto attack. And it's just awesome for staying healthy in the jungle and also for tanking turrets. Burst Sense is his gap closer, his E. Riot made it even easier to catch people now, because when you get close to them, you will launch at them. Upon usage, you will get faster movement speed, and the next auto hit will stun the enemy for 1 second. After dispatch, you will also ignore unit collision while in burst stance. This is a huge deal for Udyr, since you don't have any jumps or quick movements, or very good gap closers. So unit collision, ignoring unit collision is just amazing now. Phoenix Stance is your bread and butter for this build. With the changes now, the first auto hit upon usage will send out a flaming wave in front of you, AoE, which deals magic damage and is pretty high in early game. And every third auto attack will send out another wave. Ganking is much easier now with the changes, with the first auto attack sending out a wave 2. Before that, in Season 2, Udyr lacked some damage, and now he has a bit of a burst when ganking, so this helps a lot and made Phoenix Udyr a bit more viable. So, for the abilities, you put a point in the Phoenix at level 1 when starting with your jungle, then at level 2, Turtle, then at level 3, Phoenix if you want to jungle. Unless you want to gank, then you put a point to Bear at level 3, but normally you will go Phoenix at level 3, and Bear at level 4, and then gank. After that, max Phoenix, then Turtle, then Bear, and then Tiger. The 3 points into Tiger at level 16, 17, 18. Because the special thing about Udyr is he doesn't have an ultimate like every other champ in the game. I think it's every other, yeah. And you can put points into his R at level 1 too, which is Phoenix in this case. And it's not that you put points at level 6 in there, just every level. every ability is the same. It's like a normal ability. And we'll be focusing on Phoenix. Alright, runes and masteries. So keep in mind, when playing Udyr, he's really versatile. The same thing applies to items. I'm not saying this is the best way to build Udyr. That's just the way I had the most success with him. And I've tried this out for a lot of games, probably 30 or 25. I'm not sure. And yeah, there are some builds that I tried out and they work great, so I'm gonna tell you about them. Normally, I still use the same runes I used in Season 2 for him, which are attack speed reds, which just help with the jungle clear and getting more procs off from Phoenix. Armor yellows make you beefier in the jungle early game, and then magic resistance per level, all flat. You can decide which ones you like more. They are both cool and work. For Quinns, I love taking movement speed. I feel like they're a necessity on Udyr. They just increase his chasing ability, escaping ability, juking ability, ganks, everything. They are just, in my opinion, mandatory on him. You could take attack damage on Quinns, maybe, but you should go for him movement speed. Something I tried out with him was putting 3 magic pen marks and 3 magic pen glyphs into the runes, just for some more burst at level 1 and early game with Phoenix. And this worked out too. I liked it a lot because it made ganking a bit easier and dealing damage easier. The jungle clear is about the same as with attack speed marks. You can experiment with that. Most of the pro players that I've watched are just taking attack speed marks, all 9, and that works too. For summoners, I take Flash and Smite. Flash is mandatory, and Smite too for jungling. I take Flash because of the lack of a gap closer on Udyr. I just feel like it's better when jungling with him than Ghost. Okay, masteries. Udyr's damage has gone quite a bit now, and that's the reason why I'm going for 921-0. And Season 2 I always went 021-9, it's just so I was focused on the tank back down, having the buff duration, movement speed, etc. It still works in Season 2, but now I go for 9 points in the offense tree for magic penetration, 21 to be more beefy, and just taking more damage, because Udyr's just basic damage from his abilities is amazing, so you won't need more points in offense in my opinion, unless you're going for a damage tiger build, which is not the target here. So 021-9 works too, but I go for 921-0. You can see the masteries right here on the screen. Okay, items, yay! Whoa, finally. So I've been experimenting with items too, and I found 2 builds that worked cool, great. And they're similar, very similar, but there's a main difference between them. I will discuss this later on. So my basic standard build is this one. You started with 100 machete and 5 health pots, standard for jungling. When you get back to base, after a jungle clear or even a gank, you should be able to get boots and a spirit stone. Next up, you want to finish Spirit Stone into either Spirit of the Lizard Elder, which is great for snowballing, it increases your damage, and it works well with Phoenix. I love this item on Phoenix Udyr, it's awesome, try it out. Or you can also go for the Spirit of the Ancient Golem, which is the more traditional way for the very tanky Udyr. But yeah, if you want to be more offensive and you need more damage in the team, in your opinion, go for the Spirit of the Lizard Elder. After that, I go for Runic Bulwark, which is the upgrade of Aegis of the Legion. I just feel like this is a cool item for junglers. It gives you great stats, some damage, and makes you beefy, so what more do you want? After that, I go for Wit's End. More damage, more magic resistance, awesome. After this, I get Iceborne Gauntlet for more CC, slowing, sticking to targets. This is an amazing item for Udyr. To round up the whole build, you want to go for Random's Omen. in case the enemy AD is fed, or if you want to shut him down, or if they have a lot of attack damage in general. Zephyr if you want more DPS, or Spirit Visage if you need more magic resistance. Of course, there's still Guardian Angel, which is cool too, but I don't know. I wasn't trying this out and just went for the items I stated before. During late game, you should sell your Boots of Mobility. Oh god, I forgot to mention this. Yeah, Boots of Mobility, of course. You should get these right after you finish your Spirit of the Ancient Golem or of the Lizard Elder for better ganking, fast running around the map, securing more drakes and buffs. But during late game you can sell those for Ninja Tabi or Mercs, so you're better in team fights. This is a pretty standard build you can use, but don't forget you should always adapt to the enemy team. For example, if the enemy has a lot of characters who can just jump away from you, why not build a Shurelya's Reverie? It's a great item on Udyr, makes your teamfight stronger. It's pretty cool for ganking, because you will get off some ganks with this item that you wouldn't be able to do before without it. Also, if your support insists on going for Aegis, you can build Sunfire or Locket of the Iron Solari too. My second build is very similar as I said before. The basic difference is that after you get your 100th machete, do your jungle clear, etc., you want to rush first Iceborne Gauntlet. Iceborne Gauntlet, I've been trying this out for a few games, just buying Iceborne Gauntlet first. And this is such a good item in Udyr. I can't stress this enough. Udyr's main gripe that I have with him is that he has problems sticking to people. Of course, he has the 1 second stun, but what after that? Without red buff, you're screwed. I'm sorry. Without red buff, you're screwed. So this is solved by Iceborne Gauntlet. After that, I go for my standard build. I go for randoms and all that stuff, Spirit Stone, blah blah blah. But that's just a switch in the item order, and I've been trying this out a lot, and I really liked it. I just rush Iceborne Gauntlet, don't even finish my 100th machete, just get boots and Iceborne Gauntlet. And with that, you'll be fine. You'll be dealing a lot of damage, and your CC will be crazy. So yeah, you can try that out. Okay, now that we've got that through, let's get to the part that will be probably the most important one for a lot of people. Gameplay tips and tricks. So in general, Phoenix Udyr is a pretty safe pick when jungling. He clears the jungle very fast, even without a pull, and is never low health in the jungle, thanks to turtle stance. When jungling, remember to switch stances right before the timer for your stacks runs out. Keep these stacks maxed out when you have blue buff, so you can maximize the jungle speed. I mentioned stance dancing before. This means jumping from stance to stance to keep your passive up. This is even more important now, because burst stance is not the only ability that gives you movement speed, but every single one. So when chasing someone and burst stance is on cooldown, just switch to turtle stance or phoenix or even tiger, and you will be able to catch up faster. Timing. Timing is very important for Udyr, even more important than with other junglers, because his ganks won't be as easy to pull off as with, for example, Lee Sin or Rengar or Kha'Zix. Always remember that you will have to cross a certain length on foot, unless you have flash up, to close the distance to your enemy. Run to them at an angle which cuts off their path, so you can at least force a flash. You will see this in the footage with Twisted Fate right here, and especially with Udyr, but also with other junglers. If you gank someone and you force a flash, don't chase them to the turret, just be happy that you got the flash. The lack of flash for the enemy laner makes the kill potential much higher, and it increases it for your laner. You can come back later after 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute, and kill them then. It opens up a lot of possibilities. So just making the enemy laner flash will be an annoyance for him. Another tip is to practice what I like to call the flash slap. So the flash slap is activating your burst stance and then flashing onto your enemy and stunning them. This might sound easy, but it's not. It will be weird at first, I can tell you that. Just practice it. This often allows your team to catch up and finish the enemy off, or it just makes it easier for you to stick to them with Iceborne Gauntlet. So just use activate your E, then flash, and right click. It sounds very easy, but you might hit minions when they are running around minions, or you might hit the wrong target. So really get used to it and the distance when you're flashing. In team fights, you have to find a balance between stunning everyone and stunning the carries with burst stance and dealing damage with Phoenix. It's really hard to find this balance between all your stances, when to use which one. I can only advise you that when engaging, take burst stance and at least stun the important carries once, so your assassins can get to them. And then turtle, so you get some tankiness and the lifesteal, and then Phoenix, so you deal more damage. You just have to decide if it's a better timing than to use burst stance or turtle in this case. For example, the clip here, you will see that I could have escaped if I used burst stance and Nocturne, but I used Phoenix, unfortunately, and he killed me. Another tip is that when you're going to a new camp, for example Wraiths or Wolves, start with your W, use it first and then switch into Phoenix. You'll lose less health that way, and this will help you stay healthy in the jungle. I already said that characters like Anivia or Ashe can pose big problems for Udyr, but I didn't say which characters work good with him, or well with him. For example, Anivia, one of his counters works just perfectly with him. Basically any AP, a mid champion or top champion, which has some kind of CC, hard CC, a stun would be just great, a snare or root works too, just so you can get to them with your E, because you don't have to jump. And this will help you gank them easier, especially like Anivia's Q, Cyan's Q, well, you don't see Cyan that much, but stuff like that. So that just works perfectly with Udyr and will make ganking easier. Or one final piece of advice, use attack move. For those of you who don't know what attack move is, it's mostly being used by AD carries for last hitting and team fighting. You can set this up in your key bindings. I have it bound to space. So what it does when I have it bound to space is when I have my mouse cursor on the screen and I use space, my character will go where I pointed my mouse, which sounds pretty logical, but it will also attack the nearest target. Why is this so useful for Udyr? Well, when ganking someone and they try to juke you by running to the brush and making you lose sight of them, you can just use attack move, and as soon as you get vision to them, you will slap them automatically with burst stance. It will be 1 second, they won't be even able to react, because it's an automatic movement from the computer. So I have this bound to space, like I said before. You can experiment with this and get used to it. One thing you have to watch out for is that when minions are close to you, and your attack move closer to the minions than your enemy, you will automatically attack the minions. So experiment with it, but it's very helpful in team fights and also when chasing people. In the end, practice makes perfect. Udyr certainly requires a lot of getting used to and may seem easy because of his simple skill set, but he requires you to get a feel for him if you want to master playing this beast. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time when I'm making my next guide, which will probably be about Nocturne.